How is it going? I hope everyone's doing well, and thank you for tuning in this video. Today, I am here with my WWE Survivor Series 2020 pay-per review. That way, seeing more times, go and dive right into the show, which of course started off with a kickoff show before the pay-per-view, which featured the dual-branded Battle Royal. You had some notable names in there like The Miz, Shinsuke Nakamura, Jeff Hardy, Elias. So a few guys in there worth mentioning, but honestly, it was a pretty basic Battle Royal for the most part. Dominic Mysterio had a huge showcase, actually almost winning it before The Miz came back in and threw him out after being falsely eliminated, or not falsely, but being almost eliminated. Dominic Mysterio thought he eliminated earlier, but didn't. Miz ended up throwing him out to win the Battle Royal. So Miz wins it. Did not mind that at all because he's Mr. Money in the Bank. Why would I ever mind the person who has the Money in the Bank contract to lose a match or win a match? So no complaints for me about Miz winning it. So like I said, pretty basic Battle Royal. Also, in the kickoff show, you had the Gobbledygooker win the 24/7 championship, and later on the main pay-per-view, Akira Tozawa wins it from him, and then R-Truth wins it back. So those were your 24/7 title changes of the evening. So started the kickoff show, so I thought I'd go ahead and mention that. And then we go to the main pay-per-view, which opened up with the 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series men's elimination match. Team Raw taking on Team SmackDown. It was a solid opener. I mean, it was fine. There really wasn't much to it, honestly. It was a clean sweep for Team Raw, obviously. Team SmackDown really didn't get much in. Seth Rollins, right from the get-go, sacrifices himself because he goes to show you how loyal he is to Raw. Even though he's on SmackDown right now, he's still the Monday Night Messiah. He's still, Mr. Monday Night Rollins. He's dedicated to Raw, and he sacrificed himself immediately by laying down and getting bro kicked by Sheamus for the greater good. So I thought, just as a fuck you to SmackDown, I thought that was great work by Seth Rollins. Kevin Owens had a stunner fest until he got eliminated by AJ Styles with a phenomenal forearm. Then King Corbin had a good little run until Riddle eliminated him with the floating bro. Otis had a nice exchange with Keith Lee for a good little while until Braun Strowman got the tag, ended up hitting the running body slam, or power slam for the 1-2-3 on Otis. Then Jey Uso fended himself off for a good little while. The match went to the outside, took everyone out onto the outside. Back in the ring, Keith Lee out of nowhere hits him with the Spirit Bomb and ends up getting the victory for Team Raw. So yeah, like I said, clean sweep for Team Raw. Like I said, it was a fine opener. Didn't really expect much from the match anyways, but it is what it is. No complaints from me. And then, of course, we go to the Battle of the Tag Team Champions, the New Day taking on the Street Profits. I thought this was a very fun match here. I thought it was a great story with the New Day as well, kind of teasing Street Profits, especially with Kofi having the cup and mimicking Tez and Tez's face the way he was selling it. That was fantastic. Angelo Dawkins eventually got the hot tag, ran rush shot over Kofi and Xavier Woods. One thing I really liked, and it's kind of a top-notch to Michael Cole for his commentary, was New Day hitting the midnight hour. And then I forgot who it was, but they ended up kicking out of it. And Cole was on commentary to hammer in the fact that, the midnight hour didn't put him away because he didn't have that extra power of Big E to lay in to really, lay in the move. So I thought that little things like that really play a huge factor, if you ask me. But yeah, he had a bunch of great exchanges, go back and forth. Montez Ford hit a beautiful frog splash. Ended up hitting a Trouble in Paradise on Kofi Kingston, which I thought was a great spot as well. So he had a great near falls, just trading blows back and forth, and ended up being a really fun match. But towards the end, poor Xavier ended up getting absolutely destroyed by the Street Profits. And yeah, Street Profits get the victory over the New Day. Like I said, very fun match, and thought it was kind of a great passing the torch. Obviously, New Day isn't done or anything, but in terms of how big of an act they are, and Street Profits are kind of that up and coming act behind the New Day, I thought it was a great passing torch in that aspect. So yeah, like I said, really fun match. Really enjoyed that. From there on, we had the Battle of the Mid-Card Champions next. Of course, Bobby Lashley taking on Sami Zayn. Not much to this match. Sami Zayn tried everything he could to run away. Bobby Lashley would do something, then, he'd suplex him across the ring, and Sami Zayn would immediately go to the outside. Try to get himself, not himself DQ, but try to win by DQ when he tripped over MVP, and he insisted to the ref that, hey, that's a DQ. He tripped me. It's a DQ, but the ref wasn't falling for it. Sami Zayn tried to play up his vertigo that he actually played up on in his 2018 feud with Bobby Lashley. So I thought that was a great touch for Sami Zayn to mention that. But towards the end, Bobby Lashley put him in the Hurt Lock, submitted Sami Zayn, and that was that. So like I said, not much of a match. It was mainly just Sami Zayn running around, being entertaining, while Lashley just, threw him around like it was absolutely nothing. So It is what it is. And then next we go to the battle of the women's champion, of course. Asuka taking on Sasha Banks. We've seen this match plenty of times throughout the summer. But, you know, these two, if we learned anything, have fantastic chemistry, and it definitely demonstrated here. I thought Sasha Banks and Asuka went out there and had another great match. These two can't do any wrong, and, you know, they've had callbacks to their previous matches. This match is nothing but just a chain of reversals and pin attempts, and just, you know, showcasing how well they know each other. So I thought both women went out there and had another great match. At the end, just absolutely trading roles, and you know, Sasha Banks, I thought did a fantastic job of countering Asuka's Asuka going off the ropes, and just the way she was able to, I don't even know how she even like rolled her up, she kind of just like flung and just like spiderwebbed her right around, and just, I don't even know what kind of roll up that was, but she was able to cradle up Asuka into a pinning, not a pinning attempt, a successful pin, because she got the 1-2-3 over Asuka, which I thought was a great way to protect Asuka. Sasha winning definitely was the better decision, because, you know, Sasha just had a lot of momentum going on lately, and she's got a lot going for her on SmackDown, whereas Asuka has literally been doing absolutely nothing on Raw for the past, what, month or two now, so definitely did not hurt Asuka losing, and the way they did it definitely protected her. So yeah, huge win for for Sasha Banks, and like I said, great match between the two women. They've continued to showcase their fantastic chemistry. From there, I'm going to go to the women's now 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series elimination match. Team Raw taking on Team SmackDown. And this was the one match in the show that got a ton of time. And honestly, I thought this match sucked. I didn't like it. I thought it was a mess. You know, Lana tagged herself in. Then, you know, they told her to get out. It took a long time for the first elimination to kick in, because I feel like by the time the first elimination kicked in, a lot of people, including myself, thought the match should have been wrapping up at that point, because it was just not going in a good direction. I will give credit, though. Peyton Royce had a really good performance. She ended up suplexing Bayley to the outside to take everyone out. Back in the ring, hit her finish on Bayley, and actually pinned Bayley clean in the middle of the ring. So I thought Peyton Royce had a really good showing for the time she was in the ring. Lacey Evans was crazy and hit a Spanish fly on Bianca Belair, which I thought was a fantastic spot. Bianca Belair had a good showing as well. She actually kind of recreated the old spot with Shayna Baszler from their NXT TakeOver Phoenix match, where Shayna had her in the choke and Bianca kind of powered out of it and fought through the ropes. They actually ended up recreating that for Shayna's elimination, because Shayna would not let go. So obviously, you know, she got DQ'd for it. Lana, she got belittlated by her entire team. She ended up crying while she ended up being forced to stand on the steps throughout the entire match. So, I mean, the match had its moments. So I'm not going to sit there and say it was absolutely terrible, but to me, it was a mess. I wasn't enjoying it, and it just felt like it dragged on forever, personally. So, when it came down to it, it came down to Nia and Bianca Belair, but both women end up being counted out, which made Lana the sole survivor and winner of the Survivor Series women's match. So Lana wins it. Great moment for her to win. I think everyone saw it coming by a mile, though, that Lana was probably going to be the sole survivor. But, you know, it is what it is. What can you do? I'm not going to take her moment away, so I'll let her have it. But yeah, like I said, was not a fan of the match by any means. And then we go to which I thought was match of the night, the Battle of the World Champions. Drew McIntyre taking on Roman Reigns. And these two went out there and had a fantastic match. Now, honestly, I've always wanted to see these two go at it. You know, I know we saw them go at it at WrestleMania 35 last year. They had a match at Stomping Grounds last year as well. And they've had some matches, I believe, on TV. And honestly, none of their matches have really lived up to the expectations. But this one definitely lived up to the hype. It definitely had that big match feel to it. You know, that stare down in the ring legitimately felt like a WrestleMania main event stare down. I'm not over-exaggerating. It legitimately felt that big of a match. And they definitely went out there and delivered. You know, from the get-go, you had some rest holds. You know, you had your Roman Reigns heel main event character playing up now, where he just does the chin lock for a good little while. It was kind of the feeling out process between both men, you know, taking it slow, you know, slowly building that burn up, which I thought was great. But then, yeah, you know, McIntyre hit a future shock DDT out of nowhere, and Roman Reigns for a great near fall. The match spilled into the outside, where Roman Reigns hit a gigantic spear through the barricade after he put Drew McIntyre through a table with the Samoan drop. I forgot what it's called for a second. My mind's going blank. Like, what's the move called? And then it hit me as soon as I did it. So I felt like an idiot remembering as soon as I did it. But you know what I was going for. The Samoan Samoan drop, not splash. Samoan drop. Did McIntyre through a table, then speared him through the barricade, back in the ring. Roman Reigns does another huge spear for a 2 count. So McIntyre kicks out of that. Reigns is, getting ready for a 3rd spear, but McIntyre just wails him with a kick. Ends up hitting the Claymore onto Roman Reigns, but the way Reigns got hit, he flung into the referee, so the referee got taken out, which I thought was a great way to the ref bump. But of course, as it happened, Jey Uso comes running down. McIntyre tries to fend him off, but Roman Reigns hits a huge Superman punch on McIntyre. Super kick by Jey Uso. Referee comes back to Roman Reigns, puts him in the guillotine, and McIntyre passes out, and the referee calls for the bell. So Roman Reigns defeats Drew McIntyre. I expected it. I thought, the way they did it too was probably the best way they could have done it, honestly. It was a great way to protect McIntyre. So yeah, tremendous match, especially the final few minutes of the match. I'd say the last 5 or so minutes were really, really good. When they're just exchanging blows and they're getting some great near falls, and McIntyre was kind of hulking up. I thought they told a great story towards the end of the match. So definitely want to see more between 2 of them. Very glad they're on separate brands, because obviously that means we're not going to get anytime soon. So by the time we do get that rematch at some point, I'm going to want to see it even that much more. So yeah, tremendous stuff. And of course, Reigns afterwards, looked at Jey Uso. Takes him a while, but he goes, you know what? He forgives him for not winning earlier at Survivor Series in the men's match, and pretty much says you're back in. So I thought it was a great show of respect for Roman Reigns, and it took a while too. He didn't give an instant like, yeah, good job for helping me. He kind of gave it, you know what? Yeah, you did a good job. You made up for it. So little things like that. Roman Reigns, his character right now, just chef's kiss. That's all I can say. But then of course afterwards we had the big final farewell for The Undertaker. Out comes all these legends. You got the Godwins. You got, Savio Vega, the Godfather. You got Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Jeff Hardy, Ric Flair. You have all these legends come out, right? Even Kane, who, the poor guy comes out in full gimmick, which I'm pretty sure they ribbed him, but, I don't know. Kane came out in full gimmick for some reason. They all come out and it cuts to a video package. They cut back to the ring. Everyone's just gone. So they literally had all these legends come out just to make an entrance, and that was it. We didn't see them again or hear from them again after that. And then you got Vince in the ring. He's getting all choked up, introducing The Undertaker. Undertaker comes out. It's funny because obviously they pipe in like the "This is awesome" and Undertaker chants, and Undertaker's like sitting there like soaking it up like it's an actual crowd doing it. So I thought that was pretty funny. But he pretty much cuts exactly what we'd expect from The Undertaker. Says, hey, you know what? My time is up. I'm done. And the dead man can now rest in peace. And that was pretty much it. It was literally nothing. And honestly, it's exactly what we should have expected from The Undertaker's character. Like, it's not like we would have saw him come out and been like, oh, thank you, everyone. Thank you, this. Like, in terms of his character, that's probably exactly what we've always would have gotten anyways. So, and we don't need more than that. We've obviously had the Last Ride series, like anything in terms of a final farewell or like a goodbye, he's done in that series. So there really wasn't a need for him to come out and do this big farewell. He did it pretty much in character, and that's probably honestly all you really need to do. And the icing on the cake, and it was so fucking awesome, was the hologram of Paul Bearer they had in the ring as Undertaker did his pose with Paul Bearer holding the urn. Oh my god, that was so fucking good. That was fantastic. That was an amazing shot. And then man, it looked so real too. It was amazing. So that shot of Paul Bearer and the Undertaker was definitely priceless. And yeah, that was The Undertaker's farewell. Like I said, it was a whole lot of nothing. Obviously, like I said, we pretty much got everything from the Last Ride series, but it was kind of underwhelming. Like I said, they brought out all the legends and just nothing happened. Like, none of them even said anything about Undertaker. They just came out and then that was it. It was nothing. So I don't know. I just felt like a kind of a waste. But like I said, in terms of, the character of The Undertaker, that was probably exactly the type of exit that we were going to get from him. So yeah, that's what closed Survivor Series. And yeah, that does it for this year's edition of Survivor Series 2020. Overall, like I say, this year's Survivor Series, I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it. You had your ups and your downs, but honestly, that's pretty much been the forte for all these pandemic pay-per-views this year. You know, you have a handful of good stuff, then you got a handful of either, you know, bad or not so good stuff, honestly. You know, there really wasn't anything bad on this show. But you did add some points I dragged. Like I said, the women's Survivor Series match I didn't like at all. So, and of course, you know, the mid-card champion match was kind of a joke. So it did have its low points, but there are definitely some really good high points on the show. Like I said, McIntyre and Reigns is fantastic. Sasha and Asuka continue to have a great match. And, you know, New Day and Street Profits definitely delivered. So there are definitely some high points as well. So it was definitely a good show from WWE. No complaints from me. And, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, please feel free to leave a like below. And, of course, the next time, I'll see you guys. And thank you guys for watching the video.